Alright you guys, yesterday we made a video talking only about Lucci and Kizaru, so today we are here to do the inverse of that. We are only talking about the Straw Hats and their allies. Because let me tell you, after reading this week's summary, their chance of escaping is looking pretty damn good. Alright, so the first group we're going to talk about in this chapter is Zoro and Jinbe. Turns out that Zoro did not quite finish Lucci off last chapter, and Lucci is still standing. Which, I know we're not here to talk about Lucci, but it's pretty crazy, you know? Yes, he can't move. Yes, he's barely conscious. But I am surprised that Oda made Lucci go out like this. Like, this is a lot of respect on Lucci. Like, the man is still breathing. You know, he won't fall down. He's kind of like Whitebeard in a weird way. You know, I'm not trying to disrespect Whitebeard, but Lucci not falling down to the ground is kind of crazy. But yeah, Jinbe's here. He blows Lucci away, and then he grabs Zoro and he leaves, which I think is just absolutely heavenly. Thank God Jinbe is here, because let me tell you, if Jinbe was not here with Zoro, Agate Island would be another 10 chapters, given how easily Zoro gets lost. Oh man, like, you could tell Zoro to go one direction, he would go the opposite direction by accident. So yes, Jinbe being here is great. I'm assuming he's immediately going to take them to Brook, Nami, Usopp, and Robin, since they are close by and with the Thousand Sunny. But we do get context here in this chapter that all of the Straw Hats are trying to make their way down to the Giant's ship. It looks like that is now the new goal, because initially we were going to use the Vega Force 1 to carry the Straw Hat ship and then Kude burst off of the island. But since the Vega Force 1 has been destroyed by Kizaru, it looks like hopping on the Giant ship is the new prerogative, which is pretty good, right? Like, not only do we have a ship that can hold the Thousand Sunny and all of the crew, but you're also under the protection of the Elbaf warriors, which is always really nice, especially given how strong these guys are. You know, I know this is a Straw Hat video, and we'll talk more about them, but god dang, I cannot skip past how good Dory and Brogy look this chapter. They are facing off against Warkuri. I am using that phrase a little bit loosely here, since they don't exactly go into a 1v1 battle to the death, but they do clash against him, and they do pretty dang well. Like, we're talking about Dory and Brogy from Little Garden. They showed up here, they block Warkuri's blades after Warkuri flexes his insane Conqueror's Haki, and then they send him away with a brand new attack called Separation. Yo, these giants are crazy. From one-shotting a Vice Admiral to sending Warkuri away, what can Dory and Brogy not do? Like, these guys are no joke, being boosted to oblivion. I love to see it. You know, like I said, as the chapters have gone on, I've started liking the giants more and more. And all I wanted, like I said, all I wanted to solidify the giants in my heart would be to see them fight off a high-tiered opponent. And that's exactly what they did this chapter. So you know what? Giants, I like you guys. Maybe I shouldn't have judged them for their size after all. So yeah, Dory and Brogy look amazing in this chapter. Luffy also looks really good this chapter. He creates a baseball bat and he slaps Saturn's balls away, and it ends up blowing up Saturn and his homeboys. Like, these guys are just dominating the fight, right? Like, Luffy, Dory, Brogy, the Straw Hats, like, we are just winning across the board, right? The Gorosei, Kizaru, Lucci, they never stood a chance, and it doesn't help that the Gorosei is all split up as well. Like, right now on the Fabrio phase battlefield, it is a 3v3. We got Luffy, Dory, Brogy versus Warkuri, Jupiter, and Saturn. And we're winning. I mean, yes, we can't hurt these guys, but we are winning. Like, we have knocked them back so hard that they have to regenerate. And we do have to keep in mind that it does take a second or two to actually regenerate. So by hitting them back like this, even though we're not doing damage, we are buying time to properly escape, which is what we are doing, right? People are saying that we're going to run the gauntlet, we're going to beat all the Gorosei here, but in this chapter, we have all of the Straw Hats in a single page running towards the giant ship and the Thousand Sunny. You know, Brogy signals the horn for all the giants to actually retreat. We are leaving this island quicker than most of us actually thought. I think we're going to be able to do it. I mean, just based off of this chapter, and I guess the past couple of chapters even, like, the Gorosei, while they do want to stop Luffy if they can, Luffy is not the priority here. Like, they still want to stop the broadcast. Marcus Mars is still breaking through the barrier looking for the broadcast signal. You know, Nasujudo is trying to save the money and stop the pacifista. Like, I really do think that if they had to choose between beating Luffy and stopping the broadcast, I think they would just stop the broadcast. Because Luffy is just one pirate group. You know, this is going to sound like horrible to say in context, but, you know, Luffy, he is powerful. He is a Yonko. But at the end of the day, would you rather take down Luffy or stop the world from learning about the Void Century? Like, I feel like if you weigh the options, it's really hard, but I do think the Gorosei will try to stop the broadcast more than anything. And plus, even if they do try to chase down Luffy, Luffy's just gonna spawn a treadmill and just send him backwards. Like, Luffy is that crazy. Like, Luffy creating a baseball bat in their chapter, yo, like, let's be real for a minute. Has Luffy even ever played baseball? Like, has there been a cover page where Luffy's played baseball? I don't even know. We just accept this as reality. Luffy's imagination is just that overpowered. So the next group we have to talk about is Bonney's group, because this is the one group out of all of the Straw Hats that is actually facing some resistance. So as far as Bonney's group goes, it's Bonney, Frankie, Atlas, Kuma, and I believe we have a couple of no-name giants beside us, but they are fighting Guillotine, Pomsky, and Red King. We got 3 VAs showing up to stop Bonney, because Bonney is still a priority to some extent, right? They want to stop the pacifista. They want the pacifista back on their side, and to do that, they have to take down the person who has the highest authority on the island, which would be Bonney. Low be it for me to say though, but I think this mission is kind of washed considering that Nasujudo is disabling the pacifista. But hey, you know, like, still taking out Bonney is pretty big. So we have 3 VAs showing up against them, and honestly, I don't think they're gonna win. You know, as much as I love the Vice Admirals and as much as I love Red King specifically because he has like that crazy chin thing going on, I really don't think they're gonna be able to beat Frankie and Bonney together. And not to mention, if you add in the giants behind them, like, I really don't think they stand a chance. Brogy took down Vice Admiral Tosa, the man who had the 10-finger handgun with a single non-hockey blow from his axe. And keep in mind, Brogy used the backside of his axe to take this man down. Or I think he used the side of his axe. You can't really tell too well. But either way, Brogy didn't even use the sharp end of his axe to take down a VA in one hit. So I really do think Pomsky, Guillotine, and Red King are going to get completely washed, and honestly, I hate to see it, right? Like, we know they're going to lose, but I hope they look decent. Maybe they all get a Lucci thing where, you know, Frankie beats them down, Bonney beats them down, maybe even Kuma comes back to life and beats them down, and then we see Pomsky, Guillotine, and Red King all just standing tall. I think that'd be hilarious, but who knows, man. But like I said, either way, I don't see them winning this fight. I don't think they're going to actually pull this off. The only Vice Admirals right now that I have faith in are Doll and Bluegrass. And it's not even because I think they're strong, but it's because I think they're going to run up on Sanji, who is still on his way to the giant ship as we speak. So yeah, Sanji's the next person we have to talk about. He is actually flying solo with Vegapunk's dead body, or supposed dead body. I know some people still have theories that he's alive. But yeah, Sanji is still solo, and I have a bad feeling he's going to run into those two. And if that is the case, then we could see some tomfoolery there. So I'm curious to see how that situation is going to go down, especially now that Sanji has his Germa DNA activated. I believe last we saw when he was fighting Kizaru and, you know, trying to save Vegapunk, Sanji's eyebrows did go to the Germa side. So I wonder how he's going to treat enemy women. Like, I don't think he's going to hit them, but I do think he's going to be more abrasive in some aspects. Maybe he's just going to blow past them. Maybe he's not going to pay them any mind. I'm not exactly super sure. So now the last thing we're going to talk about is the ancient robot, because when this guy woke up, it solidified in my mind that we are going to make it out of this island a-okay. So the ancient robot, after a full 1.5 years since he first appeared, has finally woken up and has started moving. And not just that, but the Marines who see this guy say something that it caught me off guard. They said, yo, this is something far larger than the giants on the island. Bro, when I read that line, I was taken aback. I had to go back to the chapter where we first met this guy just to see it for myself because I couldn't believe it. You know, bigger than Dorian Brogy? Are you kidding me? Oh man, yeah. If Dorian Brogy, at their size, can one-shot a Vice Admiral, can stand off against Warkari, yo, something bigger than them, something older than them, something that potentially fought alongside Joy Boy, could possibly do way more damage than all the giants here on this island. And that's scary to think about, right? Like, that is super scary to think about, bro. Like, you know, even going back to Joy Boy's previous Nakama, Zunisha one-shot Jack and his fleet. You know, Zunisha, all they did was swing the trunk, and that guy was gone. And now we have another Joy Boy Nakama waking up here. And I'm expecting something crazy. You know, I'm expecting some insane feats. When we first saw this giant robot wake up during the Luffy and Kizaru fight, I really didn't expect much just based off of his appearance. You know, I saw a robot, I was like, it's cool, whatever. You know, he's probably gonna take the place of the Vega Force 1. But now that we have context on how big he is, and now that we see flames around him, I'm like, yo, like, I don't think this guy's for transportation. You know, I don't think he's here to take the place of the Vega Force 1. I think this guy's gonna box the Gorosei. Yeah, dude, I really think that now. Oda, man, he's just full of surprises. Like, I didn't think the giants would be this strong. But now I'm like rethinking my entire existence. Yeah, I think this giant robot's gonna be crazy. And I'm also wondering what color flames are around him. Obviously, since the manga is black and white, we can't really tell what colors it is. But I do think that it might even be the same white flames that surround Luffy in his Sun God Nika form. Especially since this guy knows Joy Boy, right? And especially since he's being fueled by Joy Boy's heartbeat, Luffy's heartbeat. I do think that it is more than likely going to be white flames. Unless it's cannon fire. I guess there's that too. The Marines quite literally could be shooting him with cannonballs and it's just explosions around him. So I don't want to jump on the white flames too hard right off rip, but I do think white flames would be pretty cool for this robot too. And it would make sense to some extent. But yeah, the ancient robot is why I believe that the Straw Hats will make it out of this island a-okay. You know, at first I was wondering if the Straw Hats would have to split up. But let's be real, man. Everything's looking good. Luffy's on his way out. Zoro is with Jinbe. The Straw Hats are with the Thousand Sunny. You know, Bonney's with the Giants. Like, yeah, we're leaving this island sooner rather than later, for sure. But hey, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this chapter. Do you agree with what I said here? Do you think the Straw Hats will make it out a-okay? Or no, do you think the fight is not over yet? Do you think the Gorosei still has some meat on those bones? Because I'm not too sure. While the Gorosei do look really good in this chapter, in my opinion, like against Luffy, against this robot and the giants, I really don't think they're going to be able to do anything. And then we have the broadcast, which airs in 6 minutes. It's like, yeah, the odds are stacked against these guys. I would be very impressed if they even won on one of these fronts. Like, I still don't think that they're going to stop the broadcast signal in general. So they're going to lose on the broadcast side, in my opinion, and they're also going to lose against the Straw Hats. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. One Piece is great. I think this is a great chapter to end off on for a 3-week break. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. How do you feel about all the events listed in the full spoilers? I would love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. And besides that, I might actually make a separate spoiler video talking about the Gorosei, because I think they do have a lot of stuff here that we could have a little discussion about. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Signing out.